Hello, dear viewer. Here and now, on 31st of October 2015, I will be speaking about the one particular post from Illuminati Matrix blog. Okay, so let's continue. The post is called "The World Trade Center Attack on the 9/11 and 11/11/13 and 11/11/2020 countdown to Armistice Day from 1918 to 2020." Okay, the title is obviously long. Okay, but it is important to notice that this post is from October 22nd, 2015, and I will be speaking about this particular post. Okay, so let's read it together. Let's read this post together so you can understand it more easily, and also I can understand it easier. Okay, so if you have comments about this post later, you can write to me. Okay, so just I want to say that today is 31st October 2015. I'm sorry I said that, but okay. So I now will proceed. Armistice Day, November 11th, 1980, marked the beginning of the countdown to the cataclysmic events we see unfolding around us today. Okay, author of this blog, Bryan Kemilla, claims this. From November 11, 1980, and the signing of the Armistice, which brought an end to World War I, there will be 37,255 days until November 11th, 2020 a year. Adding the total of 37,255 is 3 plus 7 plus 2 plus 5 plus 5 is 22. The number 22 relates symbolically to many things as outlined in this blog, most importantly to the distance of 2.2 miles from the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., following the National Mall to the Lincoln Memorial, which symbolically lays out the distance from Washington, D.C. to the west coast of the USA, approximately following along the 37th parallel to the region surrounding San Francisco and California in general. See page 29. Therefore, the number 37 situated as part of 37,255 is symbolically significant. Okay, so Bryan Kemilla thinks that connection between the year 1980 and the year 2020, there must be some connection. Okay, it is interesting. Why he didn't put here? Why there must be 2020 here? I do not see the reason. Okay, so we have here the 37,255. Okay, but why he decided to mark the year 2020? Why he marked that year? I would ask. Why that year? Why not 2019 year? Okay, but however, let's continue. Let's see. Maybe there is an answer in the text. Okay, the number 37 situated as part of is symbolically significant. The number 255 would suggest two sacrifice events, suggested by the number 2 and the number 55. 55. Okay, so we see here that Bryan Kemilla uses the term sacrifice event. Okay, and from my conspiracy perspective, I also see that Mr. Ketai from YouTube, as YouTube researcher, he also claims that NWO agenda creates ritual sacrifice events. Okay, so we have here the term sacrifice event, and we can say that that term is interesting, and that we must use that term so we can find more information about how the new world order agenda operates. Okay. The number 55 relates strongly to the Washington Monument, which is 555.5 feet in height and coincides with the four corner cross states on the 37th parallel at 109 degrees west. Okay, so 37 here number is important to Bryan Kemilla, 55 is important, 22 is important. Okay, only because he connects the year 1980 to the year 2020. Why he connects that, I do not know. I do not know. I do not know why he uses that. Okay. As mentioned many times previously, California coincides with the Marriott Hotel, which was destroyed by the collapsing WTC Twin Towers. The Twin Towers themselves coincide with Oregon and Arizona. The number 22 consists of two number 11s. Okay, that is correct. The World Trade Center sacrifice demolition occurred on September 11th to 21 or 2001. From September or 9/11 until November 11th or 11/11/2013, there were exactly 4,444 days. Note that the days expressed numerically strongly suggest 9 the fall, 11 dead, and 13 disaster, bad luck, black, etc. Okay, so according to Bryan Kemilla, the number 9 is connection to the term fall, number 11 to the dead, etc. He explained that and maybe I will also make a video to explain you what number means, what the numbers mean in general, according to Bryan Kemilla. Okay. The number 4,444 divided by 4, the number relating to the zodiac seasons, the Sphinx, Lincoln, Obama, etc. is 1111. So the number 9, the number 11, and the number 13 are represented in relation to the WTC sacrifice and the Armistice event on 11/11 of every year since 1980, which World War I produced tens of millions of deaths. Okay, and every year since 1980, either 1 minute or 2 minutes of silence, an elitist dead ritual is celebrated without fail in most major societies of the world. Without fail in most major societies in the world. Okay. So you see, we see here that 9/11 event is connected to the year of peace treaty in 1980, when the World War I is finished. Okay. Okay. So here we can notice the ritual of 1 minute silence that is celebrated across the major societies of the world. Okay, so it is interesting to note, since 1980, that ritual of celebrating the silence is on stage. Okay, is on stage, so it is interesting to note. Okay, also it is interesting to note that 9/11 and November 11th are connected in some way, because there are 4,444 days between September 11th 2001 and November until or end November 11th 2013 year. What becomes a bit more relevant in the whole stream of things is the use of not only the number 9 and 11 but the use of the number 19 or the numbers 1 and 9. For instance, Hitler was married on the 119th day of the year, April 29, as were Prince William and Kate Middleton. So the use of dates, the use of numbers 9 and 11 seems important. We notice here that Hitler was married on the 190th day of the year. Also, Prince William and Kate Middleton are married on that day. Keeping this in mind, from the World Trade Center sacrifice on 9/11 until 11/11, or Armistice Day, Veterans Day, Remembrance Day, etc., there were 4,444 days. So keeping that in mind, we must connect that with our number 4444. Even more bizarre is the fact that from September 11th to November 11th, but 2020 year here is there are exactly 7,000 days. So here we have the number 7,000. Maybe that number is interesting. We will see. Imagine that there are 19 years from 2001 to 2020, and from 9/11 until 11/11/2020, there are exactly 7,000 days. 7,000 days. It would seem that this is a pretty significant ritualistic day for the elitist secret society chaps. Remember how Christine Lagarde mentioned in her speech to the press club in Washington, D.C., how the number 7 was magical. And now we see that there are 7,000 days from 9/11 until 11/11/2020. So here we see the mystery why 2020 number or year is important, because from the event 9/11 to 2020 we have the 7,000 days, and the number 7 is important number. Number 7 is important number, and maybe I will make a video to explain you why number 7 is important, but actually it is important. So that's why the year 2020 is important, because we see when we connect that year to 9/11 event, we get the number of days, and that number of days is 7,000 days. And now we see that there are the number 7 is a number suggesting completion and perfection. According to Bryan Kemilla's research, number 7 is connected with completion and perfection. Also in astrology we have the number 7. Number 7 is important because we have the 7 planets that influence human beings. Also we have in a calendar we have the 7 days. 1 week is 7 days. And later I will maybe speak about the number 7, but now I just want to tell you that number 7 is important. From 9/11 2001 until 11/11/2013, there were 4,444 years. However, this also took 12 years to come to pass. Okay, the number 12 speaks of the fullness of time as symbolized in one 12-hour clock face. Okay, the number 12 is important. Okay, because we have 12 years between 2001 and 2013. Bryan claims that number 12 here can give us some meaning. However, number 12 is important number. Okay, not just according to Bryan Kemilla, but also according to astrology, according to other researchers. Okay, and maybe I will speak in some video precisely about the number 12 and its different meanings. Okay. Now let's continue with this post. Okay. I hope I am interesting enough and you can understand me while I am speaking. Together, the number 7, perfection and completion, and the number 12, fullness of time, suggest the conclusion of some sort of agenda. There were 12 from 9/11 to 11/11 2013. There are 7 2013. Okay, there are 7 more years from 11/11 2013 until 11/11 2020. Okay, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, he's correct. There are actually 7 more years from 11/11/13 2013 until 11/11 2020. That is correct. Okay, so you see that here number 7 appears surprisingly. We see the number 7 here. Okay, we can find it in these dates. Okay, having a total of 7,000 days from 9/11 until 11/11 2020. Okay, so again he reminds us of the importance of number 7,000. This is what is called occult ritualism. Okay, claims Bryan. Okay, so you see here the connection. Okay, you if you are normal, if you are a thinker, if you are a person who wants to think, it's obvious. Here the number 7 is important, the number 4444 is important, the number 12 is important. Okay, here you see that the word occult, the word occult simply means hidden, as in the phrase no man has seen God at any time. In other words, this notion of God is a hidden occult. Pardon, I'm sorry. Occult ritualistic notion, and the religions of the world all worship and adore the occult nature of this concept we refer to as God. Okay, interesting. Really, this is the truth. That all religion of the world worship and adore the occult nature of God. The hidden nature of God is important to all religions. Okay. Amazing also how in the 3D sense of things we are instructed and indoctrinated to be rational, logical and reasonable, and yet over 1 billion people on this illusory plane believe that a fictional character was crucified and died, and 3.5 days later rose from the dead. In this 3D illusory plane, that would not be considered logical. However, just like all religions, logic takes a flying leap out the window when it comes to worshipping the occult or hidden nature of things. Okay, interesting. How, yes, really the truth is that everyone likes and adores logic and logical reasoning in our world, but when we speak about the religion, we can see that we speak, when we speak about the religion, we speak about the hidden nature of God, of Jesus, of that religious matters. Okay, it is interesting. Okay. It matters not if the President of the United States keeps yammering this line about God bless the United States of America and the masses, whether they dislike the president or not. All join in with a chorus of Amen. Just maybe the president, high priest, is perpetuating the illogical, irrational, and unreasonable notion of occult worship, the worship of the sun and the moon. Okay. Of course, there is nothing good or bad concerning things of the occult. However, it is hypocritical and manipulative and the source of suffering and despair, and manifests as confusion and chaos amongst the masses as they endlessly hope for their manufactured Messiah who does not exist to come and save them. Okay. I will not comment on this. I will continue with the article. Okay, so let you hear this. All throughout this illusory 3D history, here he means the history of this world and humanity. There have been countless dozens of unseen gods that were born of a virgin and were crucified, raised from the dead after 3 days, not realizing of course that this being raised from the dead was but a simple reference to the sun at its lowest point in the sky, and after the winter solstice occurred around December 21st, the sun would rise from the dead on December 25th, exactly 6 months after the forerunner, such as John the Baptist was born on the summer solstice. Okay, so here you can see that Bryan connects Jesus as Bible figure with the winter solstice, of course, and that is the truth. And beside that truth, still religion have that Jesus figure explained. Jesus is explained as man and God at the same time. Okay, and he's not explained with using the term sun who travels across the sky. Okay, okay, okay. So we have the many meanings of Jesus. Jesus is the Son of God, but Jesus is also can also be the sun on the sky. Okay, but I will not speak. I will not speak more about that claim. Okay, and even as the religious intellectualized people of the world read these words, the hypnotic trance state remains firmly in place by the mere inclusion of the hypnotic phrase don't ever lose faith in the name of whatever your God is called, and they move along knowing what a wonderful and faithful servant they are and have been. Hypnosis is an incredibly blinding mechanism. The only way out of this 3D illusory meat grinder, the only way out of this 3D illusory meat grinder is to comprehend the hypnotic control which has conjured up our 3D illusory life experience, which is only designed to distract and destroy any sense of peace and paradise. Peace and paradise is correct. Okay. Is to comprehend the hypnotic control which has conjured up from the experience, which is only designed to distract and destroy any sense of peace and paradise. Okay. So the hypnotic hypnotic nature of our reality is the point here. I want to tell you that our reality where we live in currently is actually have that characteristic of hypnotic characteristics. It can hypnotize us so you can be obsessed about it, and you can be really connected to it and unable to see that actually you live in a state of hypnosis. Okay, I'm speaking in general, in global. Here I do not offend any do not want to offend any religion, okay, or religious figure. Okay. However, that hypnosis, as you can see here, distracts us and destroy our sense for peace and paradise. Peace and paradise, because peace and paradise are special term, and the terms here that Bryan uses, peace and paradise, are not religious terms. You must understand the Bryan Kemilla's conspiracy theory, so you can understand the terms peace and paradise here. Okay, they have broad and important meaning. Okay, for every one of researchers, for every researcher. Okay, never once suggesting that this is not who and what we really are. Never once suggesting that this is not who and what we really are. Okay. Yes. This is important. Hypnosis distracts us. Hypnosis destroy any sense of peace and paradise. That is important. Okay. But also the hypnosis or hypnotic trance also divide us from our true selves. divide us from the truth, divide us from that who and what we really are. That is the characteristic of hypnosis or hypnotic trance. And when I say hypnosis, I mean in Bryan Kemilla's terms. When I speak about these things, please I want you to know that I speak in Bryan Kemilla's terms. I speak in global terms, in terms of this particular conspiracy theory. Okay, there are 19 years or 7,000 days from 9/11 until 11/11/2020. Written another way, 11/11/2020 is 11/11/88 dead flood. I do not know why he wrote here 8 and 8. Okay, I think that is connected with the number 2020. Okay, I think that because of that he connected the number 8. But however, the number 11 is actually it can be is connected to the term dead, and number 8 is connected to the term flood. Okay, so that is important here. Okay, the agenda is in countdown mode, as the numbers so aptly suggest. What comes before and what comes after will require a definite reality check. So, as you can see, the New World Order agenda of elite leaders and people who know the hidden informations always have that characteristic to count the numbers, to count the letters, to count something. Okay, they are always in the countdown. History can show us that. So the numbers and letters and the words are important to them. Okay. Now I will continue. Lady Solomon, Helen of Troy, Eileen of Ontario, aka Shania Twain, completes her tour in her 50th year with her second and third last shows in Victoria, BC. The first Victoria show is on October 24th, the second show is on October 25th, 2015. October 26th is exactly 9/11 of the year, expressed as a fraction. Nine elevenths of the year. I do not understand honestly what he is speaking about here. Okay, but however I will continue. For those who remember when Shania Twain entered Las Vegas riding the strip with a group of 40 horses, and she, riding upon a black horse, rode up to the Victory of Samothrace statue in the Garden of the Gods at Caesar's Palace. The Victory statue of Samothrace is also called the Nike statue of Samothrace. Nike meaning victory. And now Shania or Eileen is completing her tour in Victoria, across from Mount Olympus and the 12 Olympic gods and Zeus. Nike was the child of Zeus, and here we witness Nike victory culminating in Helen of Troy. Eileen of Ontario Lady Solomon coming home to her father Zeus. Remember that it was Eileen who carried the Olympic torch uh, through Timmins, Ontario on 2010 on her way to the Olympic Winter Games in Vancouver, which began on Lincoln's birthday, the 44th day of the year in 2010, when Shania or Eileen or Helen or Lady Solomon was 44 years old. Okay, so here we see the new information that most of the conspiracy researchers didn't know. The connection between Shania Twain, number 44, and Lincoln and Olympic Games, and the mythology gods, as you would say. It is interesting to note here that Zeus, the god Zeus, is mentioned here, and Zeus, if we translate Zeus into astrological terms, Zeus is Jupiter. Jupiter is important planet. It is benefic in astrological terms. So as you can see, Shania Twain is connected with the number 44 and is connected to the astrological planet of Jupiter. In some way it's connected, and also Shania Twain is connected to the Lincoln's birthday. Okay, so we have much connections here. Also Olympic Games are important here. So you see how things operates in our reality where we live in. As a bit of curious trivia, Nike became the hottest stocks and overtook Apple stocks on the and Epsilon SC as this tour unfolded. Excuse me for my bad English. Okay. Yes, of course, you can see that here the term Nike or Nike company is important key here. Okay, so as I said, you see how our reality is really interesting. Okay. All this is nonsense, of course, and the beautiful Eileen is no way comprehends the role she is playing in all of this. As though none of the masses of humanity comprehend the illusory existence we are experiencing as being nothing but a total fraud. Okay. I agree. As for more strange subliminal symbolic suggestion. I hate my bad English. As for more strange subliminal symbolic suggestion, the ISIS beheaders fighting in Syria, aka the United States CIA established, funded and directed proxy army, scurry around the desert wearing white Nike running shoes. Just more evidence of the Luciferian agenda playing out in ridiculous, hidden, or occult hypnotic suggestion on behalf the elite power players of the world, which elite power brokers have so willingly given themselves over to the Luciferian agenda of sacrifice and demolition of the United States of America. the agenda established from the foundation of the conjuring up of this illusory 3D plane. Okay, so Bryan Kemilla here predicts that the United States of America will be demolished and sacrificed. Interesting. Which elite power brokers have so willingly given themselves over to the Luciferian agenda of sacrifice and demolition of the United States of America. Okay, so according to Bryan Kemilla, the United States of America will be destroyed and will be demolished and sacrificed. Why United States of America will be destroyed? Because according to this research, because the need for sacrifice. Okay, United States of America must be sacrificed for something. I do not know what. I think it is for the continuation of our 3D illusory hypnotic reality where we live in. Okay. In order to our reality continues to exist, United States of America must be sacrificed. It seems that it is true according to this research, this particular research and this particular conspiracy theory. Okay. And so it goes when a child has been chosen. And so it goes when a child has been chosen to be abused and mistreated, to be used for the elitist agenda leading to the cataclysmic event right before us. Okay. Incidentally, Eileen makes one of her main homes on Lake Geneva, Switzerland. On Lake Geneva, Switzerland. Directly across from the opposite end of the lake where the CERN Hadron Collider is doing its magic. Both registering the exact same coordinates, 46 degrees north, 6 degrees east. Remember, there is no such thing as a coincidence, only hypnosis. The number 46 coincides the number 46 coincides with 10 on the fourth clock face. Okay. The number 10 relates to California with dimensions of 10 degrees high times 10 degrees wide. Adding 4 plus 6 is 46. Adding 10 on the fourth clock face is 14. The conception regeneration number. 14. The conception regeneration number. Multiplying 4 times 10 is 40. The number strongly associated with the flood. Okay. And this, what is mentioned here about the number 46, is all from conspiracy theory of Bryan Kemilla, and he explained all the numbers on his blog. Really interesting research. I recommend it for you if you are interested. If you are interested, check this. Check these numbers on his blog. So that would be all from this presentation by myself. I was speaking about the post that is made recently by Bryan Kemilla, the Canadian conspiracy researcher, conspiracy theorist, that is a really good researcher. From my personal perspective, as I am interested in these things, I think that this researcher is the best, or one of the best conspiracy researchers in 21st century. Okay. Thank you, Bryan. Thank you, Illuminati Matrix site. Thank you, Illuminati Matrix blog. Thank you for your claims. Thank you for your motto, humanity, the manifestation of the ego and enemy of truth. Thank you, Bryan. Thank you. For me, from my personal experience in life, when I read some of Bryan Kemilla's posts, I was really happy because someone is researching, someone is explaining things in a similar way like I explain, like I understand, like I feel that things are, that truth is. So thank you, Bryan. I can say all best for Bryan. And dear viewer of this video, this would be everything that I wanted to tell you. Thank you for watching this video. I hope I was interesting for you to watch and to listen. I hope my voice was nice enough, was charming enough. Okay. And see you maybe in some other video. Speaking about this video that I just did, I just wanted to speak about one particular post. I think it is the best thing when I speak about one post in one video, and later in some other video I speak about something else. Okay. So if you are interested in these subjects, write to me, write to my YouTube channel, and we can have a little chat. Okay. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and all the best. All best wishes I wish to you. And bye bye. Thank you for watching. Really. And bye. Goodbye.